My daughter-in-law wanted my house, not me. I wasn't signing over my house. I was just agreeing to let you and Michael help with the bills. My voice was shaking, but my daughter-in-law, Amanda, just offered that sweet, cold smile of hers. It's for the best, she said, nudging a pen toward me. We just want to make sure you're taken care of. But the man with her wasn't some helpful financial advisor. He was a notary. And this wasn't a helping hand. It was a hostile takeover. She didn't want to take care of me. She wanted my house. She was counting on me being too old and too trusting to stop her. She was wrong. To really understand how I ended up in that kitchen with my own daughter-in-law trying to trick me, you have to know how it all started. When my son Michael first brought Amanda home, I thought she was a dream come true. She looked me in the eye when she spoke, brought my favorite flowers for no reason at all, and she listened. I mean, really listened to my stories about raising Michael in this very house. When they got married, I didn't feel like I'd lost a son. I felt I'd gained a daughter. She'd call every day and stop by with groceries. You've done so much for Michael, she'd say. It's our turn to take care of you. She wove herself so perfectly into our family, I never once questioned it. I trusted her completely. And that was my first mistake. The change was so subtle, I almost missed it. It started with little comments, dropped here and there. This house is so big for just one person, she'd say, tracing a finger along the dining table my late husband built. Then came the advice I never asked for. You know, Mom, we should really update these old windows. It was the we that got me. Before I knew it, she was talking about my home like it was a joint project. If Michael was there, she was my biggest fan. But when we were alone, she'd make little digs about my decorating, my finances, anything to make me doubt myself. She even started answering my phone, responding to texts from my friends. She was building a wall around me, brick by brick, cutting me off from my son and the outside world. Michael, of course, saw none of it. She worries about you, Mom, he'd say. We both do. He had no idea her kindness was a mask. I was the only one who could see it. I felt so trapped in my own home, like I was screaming and no one could hear me. Have you ever felt like that in your own family? Let me know in the comments. And if this story means something to you, please consider subscribing for more. The day she showed up with a notary was the day the mask didn't just slip, it shattered. She pushed a stack of papers at me, claiming they were for bill payments. But I saw the words power of attorney and title transfer. She was trying to exploit my trust to steal my house. That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, I didn't cry, I got angry. I found an estate planning attorney who specialized in protecting families from this exact kind of nightmare. He also told me I should report what she did to Adult Protective Services, and I knew he was right. But my first instinct wasn't to punish, it was to protect. I had to secure my home first. My lawyer laid out all my options. He told me about something called an irrevocable trust. He was honest with me. It was a huge step. Placing my house in the trust meant it wouldn't technically be mine to control anymore, and it couldn't be easily changed, but it would be safe. It would belong to the trust, shielded from creditors and from her. I could name my grandchildren as the beneficiaries, making sure the home stayed in our bloodline, just as my husband and I always wanted. For the first time in months, I felt a surge of power. I wasn't some helpless old woman. I was a mother protecting her legacy. A week later, I called a family meeting. I sat Michael and Amanda down at that same dining table. Before Amanda could start her sweet talk routine, I held up a hand. I've made some decisions about my future, I said, my voice perfectly steady. I met with a lawyer and I've taken steps to secure this family's legacy. I explained that the house and all my other assets were now in a protective, irrevocable trust. They will be managed by a neutral third party for my grandchildren someday, I finished, looking right at Amanda. The color drained from her face. Michael just looked confused, then hurt. Mom, why wouldn't you talk to us first? He asked. I looked at my son, my heart aching that he couldn't see what was right in front of him. Because, Michael, I said gently, the woman you married brought a notary to my house and tried to trick me into signing everything away. The truth, finally out in the open, was a bomb. They're separated now, and my relationship with my son is slowly, painfully healing. I learned a hard lesson. But I also learned that there are protections out there. In places like California, new laws are even empowering banks to question and delay suspicious transactions to help prevent this kind of abuse. True family doesn't try to take from you. They protect you.